Hello H3 fans, my name is Vindian. In this video, I'm gonna demonstrate a unique build of mine, which is the 4 Emir Kingslayer Kingdom Builder. That's what I call my build uh, because I start with 1 Emir here, but I will try to get 4 Emirs out, and also I try to build a kingdom rather than just a colony. So here at the start of the game, I chose my livestock market to be built behind my town center because, as you can tell from the mini map, this is the map Ozarks. And in this map, when you are spawning on the right hand side south of the map, your opponent will always be spawning on the left of the map. So it's if there are any villagers or if there is any siege units coming your way, they are gonna come here and first seize the market if it is at the front, or even try to snipe the cattle and uh, get them away, or steal them away, or do something sinister. So in order to avoid that, I'm gonna build it behind my base here. But if any villagers or anything is walking by, I'm gonna uh, I'm gonna stop it with my TC fire. So a lot of things happened in the first 1 minute 20 seconds of the game. I gathered a treasure over here, and I went to the north of the map, trying to scout as much as I can. The Emir of Hausa is a fast hero. 6.75 speed is not nothing to be uh, coughed at. So this is good speed. So I want to scout as much map as the map as possible. Also gather some good treasures. But my opponent here is a Lakota player, uh, yeah, a good friend of mine. And this game, he requested me to uh, test his Lakota build. So I came at him with my with my build with intent. So he also has a fast hero, 7.76. Of course, he boosts himself, so his speed, I don't know what exactly he starts with, maybe 7 or something. But he's a even faster hero. But lucky for me, my hero has counters to this hero as a start itself, because he's considered as a hand cavalry, heavy cavalry, whereas my hero is considered as light ranged cavalry, which counters heavy cavalry. And of course, he also gathered couple of treasures on his side of the map, 3 treasures to be honest, and he's also going for this 100 XP treasure, which will be his 4th treasure in the first 1 minute of the game. So this is not a absolute beginners game. So this is definitely both the players know the basics and would play to win the game rather than just to have some good time, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so at 150 wood uh, value, livestock market value, I already sold a cattle, so I started with 5 cattle. First cattle would be consumed right away, and rest of the 4 cattle would be tasked to fatten up. So this one, I would be selling 1 cattle for 150 as soon as this granary was built. And then I would be researching this village dogs, which is 50 wood cost. And then with the remaining, of course, I got 50 wood treasure here. That's the 40 wood treasure. That's the reason why you have 44 extra there. So I'm building a house towards the enemy, to be honest, because it would give me a Miyagar line of sight. And also, of course, I can levy some bowman or somebody if I am in a crunch. And also, Hausa, this I realized of late. Of course, first shipment of mine is ready at 1 minute 40-second mark, and I'm sending this Emir of Katsina. So I'll be getting 1 Emir, 1 Hausa builder, and 1 Sangha cattle with this. I'll be showing my deck a bit later, but right now, just notice that I'll be sending this card right away. And while that card is coming, I'm trying to gather as much treasures as possible. So here, of course, I'm trying to kite this. This one is a fast treasure guardian, faster than my hero. So I lost some HP. but still I got the treasure. And also here is what I'm trying to tell you. You see here, this villager and this villager are not far apart, but this villager is gathering at 0.97 foot per second, but this villager is gathering only at 0.88 foot per second. So it's absolutely crucial to kill these animals right next to the granary. You should not be wandering too far off, which will delay your age up considerably. So that's important. See, now I have no choice but to kill these if I were to gather from them for my age up, and none of them are having this bonus that these villagers are having. So it's very important to kill them closer to a granary, or try to build a granary so that all the animals will be dead right next to it. Okay, so while that's happening, I'm with my two heroes of mine. Of course, I got a Hausa builder, right? So I'm gonna build a trading post here at this uh, away from the enemy as far as possible. I could have gone for something here or here, but I want this to be a safer trade post which is not seized up much faster. So I'm building it far away from the enemy as possible. A safer trade post. Okay, so around 800, around 330 mark or so. Of course, I also had to queue a 13th villager here, unfortunately, because this is what I said. Everybody, no, none of the villagers are gathering near a granary. So I am delayed by one more villager. Not the end of the world. Luckily, I'm also already sending my second card, which is the Kingslayer card. So this Kingslayer card, which is the second one over here, and the Emirs inflict considerably more damage against heroes and gain additional attack and hit points from nearby enemy military units. So let's say if you are facing a rush or in the later stages of the game when there are lots and lots of enemy units, this card makes your hero's HP grow proportional to your enemy units, so that he will be tanking all the fire while your units clean up the enemy units fast. So you will see this in action right away. And first of all, in the starting stages of the game, it adds 4.5 ranged attack or hand attack multiplier against enemy heroes. So as I told you in the start of the game, the enemy hero, wherever he is running away, he already is doing a lot of damage over here. Even though his HP is only 107, with his speed, he gathered several treasures so far. So this is bad thing for me. So what I want to do is, as a player playing against Lakota, I want to kill this guy as faster as possible. So he has 357 HP at the moment, but I have seen him, so he needs to go down. So see, and of course he has some supporting units, but his hero is losing HP fast. So only 39. And by this time I also age up, so I got a boost. He didn't run away fast enough. His units stopped him from running away, and I got sweet 100 XP. So you can tell, I mean, this is a bit controversial, the second thing that I did, but it did its job right away. So that's a card. And also, as you can see here, the snares are also being researched right away. In this one, snares gives you 10% more or 15% more food gathering. I aged up with Hausa, so I got 300 wood as well as a builder. So that's 500 wood equivalent. So I built it here. And also I'm sending a unit shipment here, and I'm also researching tribal societies, because this is Hausa and sorry, this is Lakota that I'm about to face, and by this time 60-minute mark I'm expecting at least 5 to 10 bow raiders. So I sent a shipment. This is a shipment available for me. I could also have sent 7 Fulani archers, but I don't know. Maybe if he sends, let's check his deck. Had he sent these 4 axe riders, at least I have 5 riders in my right. And also, of course, I also trained 5 more javelin riders here. So with the 2 hero units and 5 javelin riders and 5 raiders, I have enough units on the field to at least raid by 6th minute 30 mark. So while I was trying to find where enemy units are, I saw this lone villager here standing, just having built a TP because I killed his hero. He has to use a villager to build. And now, once the villager is killed, I have shown him all my units, right? So there is no point in trying to surprise him in his base. So I just need to take this one down, for which he has spent a villager as well as 200 wood. So that's happening, and in the meantime, I also got a shipment here. So I'm sending Palace of Amina as my fourth card. This is my fourth card. As soon as it arrives, I got 300 influence as well as a palace builder. So I will be gathering this influence right away, and as you can see, my influence is growing. And I trained a batch more, and also I'm gonna build it right. See closer to this trade post because I want to control this part of the map, which has a hunt as well as a mine. So I'm getting closer here. Why this is crucial? Because I'm gonna build a university closer to here. So I have shown my opponent my mass, and this is a decent enough mass. So unless he also has a decent enough mass, he could not commit. So I kind of so at this time he has only one or two batches of one batch of bow riders and two axe riders. So not a big mass. So he's also a bit afraid to commit, but he knows what's coming. So unfortunately, I had to reveal my mass, but it's okay. I'm gonna take this trade post as well constantly. As you can see here, this is Lakota, and Lakota has fast cav, so I need javelin riders, I thought, to match the speed of their units. 6.75 versus what are these? 6.75. So to match their speed, I also need fast moving units. That's the reason why I am building uh, only those. And also at this point, I don't know what his units are. This is the first time I kind of went face to face with them. I realized that he's training bow riders here. Of course, that's what it's a go-to. So I might cancel this one. Yep, I canceled this one, and I'm gonna mass uh, 4 more javelin riders, Q4 more javelin riders. So here, what just happened was, since I got this base and this hunt and mine under control, now I want to build a trade post, sorry, a university here, and also kind of herd this hunt away from him. That's the intent here. That's the reason why I built a university here, which is already being benefited by these two, a palace as well as a trade post, and now the influence here is 1.85. So while that's happening, I'm training almost full batches of javelin riders, adding to my mass, not losing any units so far, and also I secured this trade post, so I'm gonna build one more trade post. And of course here I wanted to train one more batch of riders here, and unfortunately my villager has been discovered and killed right away, promptly action taken. While that was happening, of course, I saw their units there. That means the units are not here. So once he killed one villager, I killed 4 villagers of his. One, two, three down, 4 down. Not bad. Fifth down, I think I took 5 villagers, but I know the mass will be running towards the town to defend, so I need to run away, not to lose any units in the trade at all. Okay, so as you can see here, with just these things, like I sent 80, and also, I mean, this is also set to XP. Of course, I need to change it to influence in a minute. And looks like I also killed his hero. But back to the build. Back to the build. With my influence I accrued so far, I researched 2 kingdom builders from my town center. So these kingdom builders I'm putting nearest to this trade post, a university closer to this one, and another palace closer to this guy, so that I can secure this hunt and sorry, this mine and this hunt, etc. And also make this university get much more uh, XP trickle or influence trickle from this trade post as well. So I'm massing, not losing units. I separated them out. These are hand cavalry and these are ranged cavalry. And of course, I have more units that need to join in. And this time also, of course, I have the dog here, which was kind of scouted and killed right away. So I noticed that he's gonna coming this way. Uh, and I am expanding. Of course, I didn't tell you. In the meantime, I also sent 700 influence here, as well as 600 influence is being sent a second time now, as well as 700 coin is also in the books. So with that influence, I also built one more university here, another kingdom builder that I sent, which made me build a university which is closer to my first town and also closer to this trade post over here. So he will be getting 2.6 influence in a short span of time. And also another palace here, so that this university benefits from all three: town center, palace, as well as a trade post. And why couldn't I use my hero in this fight, in this building of this one? Because hero has bonus, right? He has bonus against enemy hero, and also of course his HP grows with the number of enemy units. And I saw that they have a huge mass, so this is not really good. And also, of course, here I researched two more kingdom builders with that, and I'm building them over here. But this is an extremely cautious point. If you don't scout, this is the only part of the map that I don't have eyes on. And unfortunately, I blindly sent my builders over there, and they were promptly taken down. One builder is taken down here, and another builder is also being targeted. But since I noticed it, I ran all my army here. This is the reason why you need a fast moving army to catch enemy raids. And of course, as you can see, the hero here, he's trying to run away, but I wouldn't let him. I target him because if he is still alive, uh, he will come back with one more raiding party. So I need to take him down first. Of course, I have all the units that can counter him. So I took his raiding party as well as his hero a third time now. So I got sweet 300 XP for it. And of course, I could build only one building here, so I promptly researched one more kingdom builder to be built a palace right next to this university. So by this, I have all four universities built by 13th minute mark, and also has a decent mass. This university has a closer a trade post as well as a palace. And also, when I sent my 700 coin earlier, I put my age up in queue. And now for age 3, I'm gonna age up with Moroccans here because I need that XP. While I'm aging up, I also had enough influence to research this technology over here. It's called Voyage the Epic, which gives me a third Emir. Right now on the field, I have only two Emir, as you can see here, and I'm trying to run from this part of the map to this part of the map really fast, and as well as try to keep him off these hunts and these mines. Of course, he has a big mass and he has these TPs boosting him, so his units are gaining HP. And this is not a great fight for me. I'm also aging up in this moment, and since I'm expanding on the map, I thought maybe let's see. I will kite as much as possible. Never commit too much because this mass is huge. It can take you down really fast. And of course, as you can see, my Emir, his HP is growing or shrinking with the enemy mass. This is a lot. When this unit attack moves, it attacks the hero, right? It is attacking the hero. The rest of the units are firing. So that's the reason why the Kingslayer card is very very important. Even though my numbers are much smaller than his numbers, I'm still able to keep my heroes alive and run back. And training two full batches of Javelin Riders here, and of course I got this mask, and also the third Emir here sitting idle. Unfortunately, I could have used him in the battle as well. And as soon as I aged up, I am sending this card called Emir of Kano, which also delivers a fourth Emir as well as 9 Maigadi. These 9 Maigadi are age 3 Maigadi, so they will have higher stats than age 2 Maigadi, which are really powerful. You will see them in action in a brief minute. Now, since I aged up with Morocco, you soon after I gather these crates, I will get one more shipment right away. So with that shipment, I'm gonna send either counter cavalry tactics. We'll see what I'm sending here. Since there is a big mass of cavalry here, and I also have a big mass of javelin riders, I thought this card, the elite ranged warriors. Oh, I'm researching that elite ranged warriors. I need to get them to age 3 units as well to have a upper hand, of course. So the next card is counter cavalry tactics, which increases to another 15%, which is really important. The HP of these units. I don't have a big mass compared to him because I aged, but He's still in age 2, so he afforded all these units without aging up. It is important to win this fight with less number of units. So the only way to do that is to upgrade your units and send an upgrade card for them. And I'm trying to kite as much as possible, keeping him busy sieging. While he's sieging, I'm going to take a couple of shots and not lose my units, but kill his units. You see 4 or 5 units have been kited off successfully so far. And while the moment he starts sieging, I turn back and I try to kill a couple of more units as well. Okay, so now I have 4 Emir on the field. As you can see, 3 Emir as well as 1 Emir whose HP definitely increases proportion. Now I saw this TP over here, which means it's bad news. Bad news in a sense, he might have a couple of more TPs behind and his units are gaining HP. So I thought, okay, let's not take this fight over here. But his hero is resurrected a 4th time and I kill him one more time. And then I'm sending this card, which is Zakunawa, and which will give me 5 Griots as well as 5 villagers. So since I'm in age 3 and I'm acquiring a lot more influence right now with all my, so this is on influence and this is not yet on influence. But my influence, as you can see, is much more being gathered much faster than other resources. So I'm gonna use that influence right away. And I thought, okay, let me try these Kanuri God units. Are they really good or bad? I don't know. I just wanted to try. Instead of doing some more research, I thought, okay, let me have these units. Let's see how they fare. So to recap, before another fight happens, the intent of this build is to build all 4 universities, and each university that I build should be surrounded with a palace, a trade post, as well as a town center. So the target is achieved over here. Now in age 3, I can definitely have 2 more town centers because town center right now I have only one, and I'm increasing my mass as well as I expanded on my side of the map effectively. Now I'm gonna, let's see, I just I'm researching 2 more kingdom builders here. They research really fast. So as soon as I get 2 kingdom builders, I'm gonna build one over here closer to this university, and the one, yep, to this university over here, and the other to this university over here. So all universities that I have a town center, and of course this university do not have a town center closer to them because this is enemy's half of the territory. But I still have a research that I can do which increases the limit of these town centers, and I have enough influence to do that. So if need be, I can have 3 more town centers. But let's see if the game goes that long. And of course, at this moment, I just wanted to uh, press my advantage. So I'm going to send this Mokuzawa card, which I couldn't tell in game, but it says that the effect uh, inflict more damage. Instruments now intimidate enemies in greater area. So right now the stats are, if you look at one of the griots, it's 2 noise damage and 15 hand attack, right, in a 16 radius. So as soon as this comes in, let's see what happens. And I have a big enough mass over here, so I thought, okay, let me engage here, and my enemy also has different ideas. Okay, great. 2, 15, 16, 1.5 became 3, 16, 20 to 1.5. I don't know if it ever comes to this hand attack, but at least it increased the noise damage, but the ranges still remain the same. But anyway, now my opponent also went age 3, but with my trades and with my build so far, looks like my score is 1200 more to him. His hero got resurrected a 4th time or a 5th time now, and I killed him promptly again for another 100 XP. And now with my acute influence being acute really fast, I'm training more and more my Gadi, which have a ranged attack of 43 and a range of 14. So this is really good compared to these guys who has 13 in attack but only 12 range. So I outrange them which is good, as well as I have higher attack. Okay, and right now, since my thing is so secure right now, I'm looking at the score. This is much better, right? But my opponent has to do something to kind of turn that in his favor. So he tried to raid a bit here. He got a couple of villagers, but with my palaces in place, of course, he can get four more villagers. That hurts, but not as much, because these palaces, while they are defending, they don't have great siege. The enemy units have only 15 siege here. They are not on siege dance either. And I am 12,000 points ahead. So right now I need to clean up this mass, and my opponent has ran all his cavalry away. As you can see, all the cavalry is away, not even trying to defend his ranged Vakina. So here, of course, I try to clean this one up, but if they are not there, I don't care. I observed that there are villagers over here which need to be taken down. So I'm going there, cut off their escape route and kill all of them. So he took 4 or 5 of my villagers. I'm gonna do the same to him. And of course, he came back. But this time, I definitely have a bigger mass, and my heroes have 2000 HP. You see this? Close to 2000. It's reducing only because the enemy units are becoming smaller and smaller with any subsequent. And this is a dirty box, to be honest. All the units are getting stuck trying to find out and trying to find an enemy. But at least this is an unkillable army as well. For each of 5 or 6 units that the opponent is losing, I'm just losing only 1 unit, 1 or 2 units. So now all the cavalry is gone. The only things that are remaining are this Vakina, who has direct counters to my units, but of course I have my Gadi, uh, as well as my ranged units. So now he is, to be honest, now that only Vakina are left, I'm building riders here. And of course, I'm gonna research this elite hand cavalry as well, preparing myself for age 3. And that's it. That's it in a sense. He's trying to run away, but I have won the fight convincingly so far. Didn't lose much units to turn, and I have 3 times his score right now. So it has come to the end stage. And since he's a friend of mine, I would say GG as well played, and that's good. Very nice game. By the end of the game, I still have more units here and more units here, trying to run towards the enemy to see if there are anything else. Opponent, of course, after this moment, he also has a second town, and he's trying to gather. Looks like he also sent bison from his hometown. And of course, there are some other villagers here whom I did not really try to raid or anything, because with this superior mass, if you win the fight and the opponent cannot remass, the game is in your box. So you don't really have to kill villagers to win the game when it comes to this point. So to recap, this is called a core Emir, Kingslayer, Kingdom Builder build. A mouthful, I know, but the intent here is to set yourself for the long game. By the end of the game, I have only 45 villagers so far by 24th minute, which is not so great. When I ran these tests, by this time I would have 99 villagers. But of course, this is a real world scenario where military might matters more than how much economy you have. So if you see the post game over here, the military unit count had 77, where the opponent has 1 at this point, so 60 to 1. And of course, military unit population, we all have the same, but when you come to this part of the fight where you have unkillable army, you prepare for that. It's very easy to do a cleanup, and your economy. Uh, this is all influence, if you ask me. If I look at resources over here, the influence itself is 10,000 or close to 11,000. So if you subtract that from this, it's almost 24k. right, or 27k. So I'm not really that ahead of my opponent. But to set this one up for Hausa, you need to build four universities as I showed you. So send influence. So the build is very simple. You send two Emir followed by Kingslayer and prepare yourself for an onslaught. And of course, since you are a bit behind, you age up a bit behind the opponent, so you need to send a unit shipment right away, and as well as train batches of units non-stop. So if you look at the military unit population, see, every time a batch is ready, I trained a batch. He trained batches of units from two buildings, I suppose. So he has more. Military population wise, his units are two pop units, while my units are just one pop units. But I matched him in numbers. So equal numbers. This is a shipment that I sent, which makes the numbers much more. Right. So until this point, there were engagements, but I didn't lose any units. So that's the critical part. You should not lose units while you engage. You just try to hit and run away. Try to hit and run away. And in here, I aged. By the time I aged, of course, he has a bigger mass or a place advantage. So he kind of won the fight, but my economy already has taken off. So I was able to send a shipment and get to his mass right away. And after this, there's no looking back. Villager count, of course, here I got a villager and here I got 5 more villagers. So 30 became 26, 4 more villagers, and here one more and one more. So that was enough. So of course, he also killed yeah, villagers of mine. 45 became 40, but this is end of the game, and immediately I returned the favor. So the economy game is won. Why building, say, food, almost equal wood. Of course, I was gathering at the end. I was selling cows here. That's the reason why you see here some of the things. Of course, the coin also. I was. There is a 700 coin shipment over here, as well as I think I sold a cow or something. But new villagers go to coin. That's the important part. All your existing villagers will be gathering food, and you will be selling wood for your sorry, selling cattle for your wood needs. Of course, new villagers go to coin. The influence is where you need to set things up. If you don't set things up by this 20th minute mark and you have only one university, and that too built as an afterthought rather than trying to build towards it, you will have very less influence gathered so far, which is meager. You can't do anything with it anymore. So it's very important to build towards this kind of a build where your universities uh, get get XP from all of these or influence from all these other important buildings right next to each other. So if the game has gone on, I would have gotten 3 more universities as well as 2 more palaces as well as 4 more town centers. And game would have continued, but this is a 1v1 game. That would be a scenario for a team game where you'd be facing 2 3 armies at once sometimes, but not this game. And of course, this is just the way of describing it, and a good friend of like-minded people. What we did, we also started a Discord over here. So in this Discord, what we have, I'm trying to show you a Discord, but that's not showing up. The build is also described in words, which you can refer to. The Discord link will be shared in the description below. You can join and also then meet more people and play more games and learn more builds. Thank you. Bye bye.